Good morning, good morning. Just getting myself set up here. All right. Good morning. I'm here a little early today because I am officially on vacation. So that's a good thing for me. So yeah, I got a couple things done this morning, and I'm not gonna be here too much today, but I'll be here for a little while at least, and then I'll go to lunch and maybe I'll come back later. I don't know. I'm gonna play it by ear, so we'll see who shows up. Hopefully I'll see a few friends. Let's put my bug up in the corner so you can compare, see where we're at, and we're focusing on this glass. I think we're going to do the liquid and this bottom part, and that's probably all I'll get to today, but we'll see how fast it goes. I think I'm going to pre-mix some of my colors here so that I can go possibly a little bit faster, maybe think a little less and paint a little more. We'll see how that goes. Let's take my plastic off. Oh, it's sticking to me. It's staticky. Everything lately, oh boy, it's very staticky. I'm gonna end up getting this, it like doesn't want to sit down. It's crazy. All right, I think I got it. Hopefully without paint all over me. We'll see. All right. So I'm going to be kind of all over the place this week with my schedule. So it's not going to be the normal schedule. I might do a long day, 1 or 2 days, maybe one day this week, one day next week. But again, I'm going to play it by ear depending on how I feel and other things that I want to do. So it's my vacation, right? So let's look at this glass here for a second. And if I'm looking at this section here, we've got this is obviously just the wash still, so I need to put some darker colors, and I see a little bit of lighter color coming in where the frosted glass is. And this down here is essentially a gray, and there's some details in that as well, but there's not a lot going on in either of those areas. I'll be able to paint most of it fairly flat with some little nuances here and there. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, let's get started. I'm going to pick out some brushes that I'm going to use. I've been happy with my number 5 round. Oh, let's get this oil open. Oh, it's kind of sticking today. There we go. And my turpentine. I might need to put a little more turpentine in there actually. Now that I'm looking at it, before I get started, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I've got a little bit of this little bit. And this down to there. I think I've got a full can of turpentine right here. So I'm going to open that up, and I don't need a lot, just enough to. I've got this child-proofed. I've got this adult-proofed, really. I have to bend that out, I think. Need a knife. And my knives are all in the other room. So, un momento, por favore. All right. It's nice having to work. I really don't have to worry about time. It's more about my own energy. If I'm not feeling it, or let's see, it says it's got a little instruction on here. 1, 2. One is. Do I have to just push that in? I might just have to push that in. Let's see. It's really. There we go. I got it. I didn't need the knife after all, but I might take that little safety thing off. All the way. You got kids, you don't want to do this. Little kids. My kids are a little older these days, so I'm not too worried about them drinking turpentine. Alright, now it's got this other safety thing. I've got to take this off without spilling it all over the place. I'm going to do it over here. Just in case. Oh, yeah, see? I did spill a little, just, not a lot, just a little bit. I thought it was going to like pop up because it was really full. Super full. I'm going to have to wash my hands in a second. That's all I wanted, just a little bit, but it's so full that it's getting all over the place. All right, let me wash my hands real quick. My apologies for spilling turpentine. I don't want it on my hands. All right, all good. So, oh, someone just came in and left before I even got back. That's okay. So let's get started here. So turpentine is nasty stuff. Unfortunately, I'm a bit of a purist painter, so I feel like I am bound to using it. I don't know that that's true, but wash this one off too. Because that's just how I feel. It works good. It does what it's supposed to do. There's nothing I know that works like turpentine does. So, so let's mix some colors. Actually, for the base of that glass, I may use the colors that I've already got laid out here, right? So, and just get some white in there to lighten up some little. There's nuances in there that I'll get to eventually, but for the first coat, I probably won't worry about it too much. There's actually an interesting, now that I'm looking at it a little closer, down here, right here, there's a little bit of this brownish color that slowly fades into it. It's kind of an interesting little effect. You see a little bit over here too. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of little nuances that I'll try to get in some of them, but I don't want to go too far because again, I'll do this in layers. But I'll use those colors first, and then for here, I've got to mix some new colors. So I need some yellowish browns. I'll start with the yellow ochre and mix in some red and yellow with it, and maybe some burnt sienna. We'll see. But let's mix up and see what we get. So let's make sure my palette knife is fairly clean. It's fine. And I'll just getting a bunch of this yellow ochre, and I'm going to put that right there. Now, like I said, there's certainly some yellow in that, and I'm going to put in a hint of red. Red goes a long way, so I don't want to put too much in right off the bat because it'll turn bright red and I won't be able to go backwards. I might end up needing to put some more browns in this, but let's see where we get. It's kind of a whiskey color, almost. It's a little bit too bright, but it's... So, question is, can I use that color as is in any areas? And I think I can. So I might split this up. Put this up kind of nicely if I can. And then I'll split some of this up here for a darker color here. So I'm going to put this over here and I'm going to grab some burnt sienna. Too much, let's see. And we'll mix that in there. So this is just kind of like a base color to start with. Do the same thing. I like that color a lot. Do the same thing and we'll hold that color up. Now, this is not dark enough. I'm going to throw in a lot more burnt sienna and maybe a touch of black. Not dark enough. So put that there. Quite a bit more burnt sienna. Let's see what that does first before I throw in the black. I see I've got someone watching. Nice to see you. You're welcome to say hi or just hang out if you want. Just mixing colors and painting away. I'll show you my painting in a second. I'll back up so you can see the whole thing. So here's where we are. And back up to, let's see what a 5 looks like. A little bit more. Go to a 3. So you can see the whole thing. Alright, there we go. So far, I betcha. Alright, I think that's good. So that's where we are right now. Little by little we're getting there. But first we have to mix some color for the liquor in the glass. So that's what I'm doing here. I don't want to dull it up too much. So what I'm doing is I'm holding this up, getting the light on it so that I know what it looks like right next to it. And it's a good color, it's just not the color that I need. It's too bright. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw, mixing colors can be hard. I'm gonna throw all this in there. And start with that. Let's see what that looks like. Mixing colors can be very, very hard. I don't know that I've ever, well, I've mixed, like I did a painting of bricks. It was a building made of bricks. And that building used a lot of orangey reds. A little more reddish than this. Let's see where that is now. Yeah, I'm not quite getting the tone that I want. I'm gonna go with a different color here altogether. I'm gonna leave this. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this over here. Let me get another color paint. I'm gonna put 2 different colors of paint in your palette right now. I'm gonna put burnt umber. I gotta get more of that burnt sienna too. Burnt umber is a little darker, less orangey, more brown, like a rich peach brown. And this is the burnt sienna, which is a little lighter, and it has more of a, when you mix white with it, it tends to look a little bit orangey. And I'm going to put raw umber too, and raw umber is more of a dull brown, so it takes away some of the brightness of a color. That's the best way I can describe it. So the question is, what way do I want to go? I think I'm going to try the burnt umber first. So I used burnt sienna before. Let's try the burnt umber and see what that gives me. See, that darkens it up quite a bit. It's much darker than the burnt sienna. And I am trying to get darker. My question is, do I need to get duller? And am I going too dark? That's the big question here. So that's where I am right now. Sorry. So we've got burnt sienna, burnt umber, raw umber. And I put the burnt umber, this middle one here, in here. You can see it darkened it up quite a bit. Let's look at that here. Yeah, I'm not quite getting there. That might be closer though. Yeah, that's definitely closer. So I'm going to keep going with the burnt umber for now. Let's get that in there. See how dark that gets so quick? So what I like to do is I like to spread it out, and then you kind of roll it up like that. All right, let's see. And that does a good mixing job. Spread it all out, roll it up. And let's see how that looks. All right, much closer. Much closer. Let's see. I'm gonna add a touch of black. Doing this up front though is going to save me time when I start painting. So if you can mix colors before you start, I'm still going to have to, mix colors on the palette while I go, because I'll need to blend some colors. I'll add some whites here and there. So that touch of black darkened it up just slightly and dulled it slightly. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's really close. What do I need? What do I need? I really want to get the richness of that color, and this is a difficult color to mix, I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I don't know how difficult it looks on the... I'm gonna add a touch more black. Super little, tiny bit of black here. There we go, just a little bit. Okay. It's interesting to me how dark this is and how light that color is over there, and that I'm planning on using all those colors for the same sort of same material that I'm looking at here, right? That looks pretty good, I think. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, I like that color. All right, we're gonna go with it. So let me roll that up. So I got a nice bit of it here. All right. I'm gonna take this other rag that I put up top out of my way. I'm gonna use that to clean off my palette knife here. So it's probably all the pre-mixing I'm going to do. I've got some good colors to start with. Let me put this here. Make sure my hands don't have paint on them. Oil paints have a tendency to get away from you. Alrighty, and let's zoom this back into our glass here, so we can resume. Whoops, don't lose that. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, hopefully I'm not in your way. All right. Gets tricky for sure. I'm getting a little nervous. All right, let's get my my five round. This is a Scepter Gold 2. It's a synthetic sable. I like the synthetic sables and I like the real sables. And we're going to start with that. We're going to start with that dark color that I just mixed. And I'm going to put that in a few places. So let's put some oil on our brush. Let's get some oil on the palette there. Now these are not all the paints that I use. This is just since I started working on this. I've kind of learned the colors that I use most. So I'm working with a limited palette so I don't waste paint. All right, making some decisions as I look at this, and I gotta think about, let's see. All right, so let's just start. Starting a new section for me, for some reason, I say this all the time, it paralyzes me. I always say, don't get paralyzed. Don't get paralyzed. Because there's a fear of getting it wrong, I think. For me anyways, there is. I might have to do more than one layer of this. It's kind of see-through. And I might have to get some darker tones there too. All right. It's kind of a weird thing to paint because I'm looking at it and there are differences depending on if I close my left eye or my right eye. So closing one eye gives me a different kind of a different reflection in the liquid. It keeps changing. I'm not going all the way to the bottom because there's different colors in there, so yeah, I see some different colors right here. Well, I think I'm just going to paint that over. So what I'm seeing is in the liquid, I can see through the liquid to the frosted glass on the back that's shining through the liquid. And I can see it, so as long as I can see it, I can paint it, but it's messing with my head. So a lot of little nuances in this. So part of me says, you know, paint the details right off the bat, you know. Part of me says, don't paint them too quickly because you might have to make corrections. And already I'm okay with this color. It's not bad, but it's also not great. So I'm gonna have to add some darks to it. little bit darker. It's a little bit lighter than I think it should be, and it could be a matter of I feel like I've got more oil in the paint here, so it's kind of showing through a little bit. I think I didn't paint the wash painting underneath dark enough, and so that dark paint just kind of. So I might end up having to do another layer of this. Actually, I know I will. It's not even a question, really. All right. What do I need to do? So many little things to figure out with this one. I'm going to switch my brush. I'm going to go to a smaller brush. I'm going to go to my, this is my Zero. This is a Series 7 Winsor & Newton's. This is actual sable. This is not synthetic. The Series 7 are my absolute favorite brushes. Whoops. Of course, my phone is freaking out on me because it thinks that I'm calling for it. And I see there's someone watching. Welcome. You're welcome to chat and say hi, or just do what you're doing and watch as you feel like it. All right, let me see. There's a little bit over here too. See. All right, that's good. All right. So I'm going to go in. Oops. Sorry about that. I tend to forget to change cameras, so I apologize if I do that to you. Just yell at me. I'm going to take some of this and I'm going to put it into here on the side. Get a little mixture of both of those. Let's see how that looks. I want lighter, but I don't want too light. That looks too light to me as I'm looking at this. So I do that, and then I have to evaluate. What does that look like? Doesn't look like anything. Doesn't look like anything. Let me get some more of this in there. No, that's too orangey. Let me put this in here. A lot of evaluating going on here in my head. Not exactly pleased with everything that I'm seeing here. I might take this and go into here now. Yeah. Instead of going darker, I'm going to go lighter. Yeah, that's better. That's a good color right there. A little oil on it. All right. So I've got to decide how much detail is worth getting involved in, you know. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in here. And I'm thinking go simple right now because it'll make my life easier later on. So I'm totally going to go simple here. And I'm going to cover that up later. All right, I'm just going simple. I'm not going for photorealistic here. I still want it to look like a painting, but I want it to look super sharp too, you know. Yeah, and I'm just gonna, not even looking at the detail, I'm just getting some different tones in there. This will all be blended together in a minute. Yeah, I'm totally going to have to put another layer on that. That's all right. I keep seeing people popping in and out. Welcome to Say Hi. Usually as soon as I say that, people leave. So I'm not trying to scare you away. You can sit there and watch all you want. You're welcome to say hi too. I won't bite you. Promise. More paint on my brush. So I've been doing this painting for a couple weeks now. It's coming along nicely, I think. Sometimes it's hard to tell. When you're looking at something for so long, you start to lose perspective of it. I think what I want to do is create kind of a oval here, so it's an oval that goes around and back there. Yep. And get some more oil on that. It's a little bit dry. Let's see, so I'm going to put this here. Hopefully I'm not blocking your view. I don't think I am. And then this is going to come here. Yeah. And again, there'll be more layers on this, so I know there's a ton of detail in there that I've got to get to. But if I don't put something down to start with, if I just focus on the detail, boy, that's hard to do. That takes way too long. Paintings like this already take a long time, right? I don't need them to take any longer. I'm going to paint this up here too. Over here. Let me blend that out a little bit. I got a little brush here that I like to use for blending. It's like a little zero brush, but it's the ends are all frayed. Not afraid, they're all frayed. And I'm just gonna tap that out a little bit. I don't want any hard lines here yet. And I might even just tap up here too. Try to get some of that. Those brush strokes out. But once I start putting detail in there, I think all this stuff is going to disappear. All that uneven paint will go away. Alright, I'm going to leave that like that for now. Let's look at the top of there. Just wipe that off. So your blending brush, keep it dry. Don't put it in your turpentine at all. Alright, so I'm looking at this top section here, and it's a lot of similar colors. I see a lot of detail in it too, so I'm just trying to decide what to do with it. Where do I put what? So I like to make a little fist and look through a little hole to isolate colors a little bit. And I think I'm going to use that dark color along the top for the most part. And I'll use a little bit of that light color too. Yeah. Alright, so going back to my larger number 5, we're going to get some of this dark, just a touch of oil in there. And let's take a look. So this is gonna, excuse me. You know what? I think that brush is too big. I just spent all that time getting that brush ready. The brush is too big. Let's clean off this one. Back to the zero brush. My instinct is often to use a large brush, which can be too large at times. So now only a little bit of spot here. So I like to go back to, it's not really it's kind of a story. It's my wife made fun of me one day because it was actually after doing a drawing that I've got in this channel of apples. And my wife laughed because I told her I'd never drawn apples before. And she's like, well, what do you mean you never drew apples before? Every artist draws apples or paints apples. Who doesn't? She's not an artist, so it's kind of funny that she's criticizing me about it. But, so I said, I just never did. And I think that's where I am with glass and liquid. I've painted plenty of things. No, I guess I've painted some glass before, just not in this way. Not like I've painted glass, not a glass of liquid. So I remember painting like windows, drawing windows and the reflections in the glass. So I guess I've done glass before. I've just never done a glass with liquid on it, liquid in it. So it's slightly, this is very new. This is a very different situation. would like to at some point do a still life of old bottles. I don't want to do too many still lifes though. Like, I like doing still lifes. They're great for honing skills and demonstrating skill. But there's not as much, in my opinion anyway, there's not as much personal expression in it. And I really like painting the things that I can see. I've got a lot of ideas about, contemporary work, abstract work, non-still life, painting from imagination, conceptual painting. And I would like to do a little more of that. I think there are people who do it because they think it's easy. For me, if I'm going to paint something that's conceptual, it has to have meaning, it has to have purpose. It can't just be experimenting with colors. I can already do that with painting like this. I can put any colors I want in my still life and then paint them. Be a little slow with this. So I want to get some of these spaces right. You can probably easily say that some of my hesitation in speed is because of fear, right? So I don't know why, but while I feel like I'm a very competent artist, art also, for some reason, scares me. I'm going to put in some details here that I want to make sure are present before I move on. So yeah, art, for me anyways, is a bit of a scary thing. It kind of hurts my brain. Switch that back over there. So I'm just doing these. It kind of hurts my brain. At times, it makes me feel rather inferior, right? Challenges me. Makes me question what's important, what isn't. Alright, I think I need to let that dry because I definitely need more layers on that area. But I also see some of these colors back here, and since I've got them here, I want to make sure I use them. So I'm looking at my drawing and I'm looking at where I see a little bit here. That might be it. Just a little bit in there. I see two colors. I see a little bit of this lighter stuff I was just painting with. And that is up top here. I was trying to evaluate where I've seen, oh, and I see a little bit more up top here. A little bit up here. Well, yeah, I'm going to go with the dark. Let me wash that off. I see another person has popped in. Welcome. Welcome to chat, of course, and say hi, but you're also welcome to just watch and see what I'm doing that's new. I'm trying very hard, in some cases unsuccessfully, to not get too in the weeds with what I'm doing here. Let's look at that again. Just up here, I see a little bit of this up here. Glass is funny, it will reflect things in the strangest ways sometimes. And I'm going to clean that off. Go back to that lighter stuff again too. Oh, hey! This was a pain. Good to see you. I wasn't sure. I came on at a weird time today. It's my first day of vacation, so it's good to see you. Just moving on with my painting here. Started doing some of this liquid here. Trying not to get too crazy with it, but it might be making me crazy. We'll see. I think you got to be a little crazy to be an artist. I don't know why. All right, let's move down to this section. That's about all I see of those colors right now. So let's clean that off and clean my other one off too. Start with fresh brushes. All right. Well, I'm glad you could join me today. I hope you're having a good day so far. All right, so I'm looking down here now. Not too much going on down there, so this is going to be pretty quick, I think. The detail is where it gets interesting, and I need to evaluate where that line of lightness is coming from. I think it's a little bit lower in the glass, but whatever, we'll see. I'm going to use my number 5, and I'm going to use some of the paints that I had done yesterday. I'm thinking that where I'm going to stick right now. Yep, I'm going to stick with the darker one. Get a little oil. Oh, you weren't late. I was early. So, yeah, I came on almost an hour early. So, I've been here for a little while painting. I snuck in when you weren't looking. All right, I'm gonna go. There's a lot of detail in that glass that I'm kind of skipping by for now, and I'll worry about later. See, I always do this. I start with a bigger brush and then I say, nope, smaller brush. Smaller brush. I'm going to go back to my 0. So what were you baking? Cookies? Christmas cookies? I hope it was something yummy. I suppose. I don't think I've ever cooked or baked something. Chocolate chip cookies, nice. Can't go wrong with chocolate chip cookies. So my kids made, it's funny. They made something recently. We call it Christmas crack. And my wife gets mad at us because she calls it Christmas toffee. She doesn't want to reference it as a drug. But I got to tell you, this stuff is so good. It deserves to be called Christmas crack. I'm a little nervous. I'm going a little too dark with this, but I'm going to keep going with it because I think it's the right thing to do right now. I'll go lighter as I go further down. So yeah, so it's Christmas crack is you put a layer of crackers on a cookie sheet. You gotta spray the cookie sheet because it'll stick like crazy if you don't. And then on that cookie sheet, you make a toffee. So it's a hot toffee. Then when it dries, it gets semi-hard, almost like a caramel. And then on top of that, you get melted chocolate, and you pour that all over the top on top of the toffee. So you got a layer of cracker, layer of toffee, like caramel toffee, and then a layer of chocolate. And then on top of that chocolate, you sprinkle M&Ms all over the place. And then you put it in the fridge, let it harden all up, and then you take it all back out and you break it to like peanut brittle. You break it into shards, and it's so good. Oh my God, it's so good. I could eat it all. I'm trying my best not to eat it. Christmas crack. Great stuff. And I think the recipe even says Christmas crack. I don't know where we got it from, but we've had it for years. I think it's okay to make fun of stuff like that sometimes. I don't know. So I used a really small brush because I wanted to make sure those lines around everything were nice and straight. That looks pretty good. All right, so let's take a look at this again, because things change a little bit here and there, and I want to make sure I'm getting it fairly right. All right, I'm just going to get a little bit more oil on there, and I'm going to go for this lighter gray here. And there's something going on in that I want to make sure I get. So this is much lower. I feel like it goes a little flatter here. Sorry, fix it like that. Oh, the wrong one. Sorry. Oh, Diablo, hey, how you doing? You heard chocolate. You heard chocolate and you came running. We got cookies, bacon. We got what I call Christmas crack upstairs. We got all kinds of desserts going on today. All right. That's funny. Yeah, everybody likes their sweets, right? I don't eat a lot of sweet. I mean, I do and I don't. I've got more of a salt tooth than a sweet tooth. I love my salty snacks, nachos and cheese, melty cheese and stuff like that, but I can't, I'm not a very picky person. I will eat most things. Not picky at all. Let's see. Mix a little bit of this whiter stuff in here, just a little bit. No baked cheesecake. Sounds delicious. Switch brushes again here, because I want to get, now that I've painted the edges, I can be a little more free to paint big strokes. I was joking a while ago, and this was a Payne probably remembers. I said it was either I was going to do a cooking show, or a art class kind of thing on YouTube here, and I went with the art class. I cook every day though. I'm debating on what I'm going to have for lunch right now because I'm It's almost that time. All right, so I left a little bit a little space there because I'm debating on pulling the darkness down a little bit. I'm not exactly sure yet. Just looking at it for a minute. Boy, this glass gives me headaches. I think I'm just going to paint it as is. Just kind of blend that in. Just what's on my brush, I'm just going to cover that space up. And I got to go a little further out here. There we go. So let's see. I like cooking dinner. Dinner is often my favorite thing to be making. Let's see, last night was ravioli, homemade sauce, kind of the marinara sauce. We'll have ravioli again tonight, and then tomorrow will be my homemade pizza. I make everything from scratch. Make the dough, I gotta make the dough before, when I go out for lunch. I've got to put the dough together today. Otherwise, it won't be as good tomorrow. All right, so I'm looking at this. Let me kind of wipe that off a little bit. And I want to get, I think, a little darker in some areas. Kind of blend it in a little bit if I can. See a line here. I don't know if you can see that even, but I can see it. I can see it enough anyways. Oh, I gotta switch, I just painted that little line here. I don't know if you can see it. And then there's a little bit more down here maybe. I think I need to get darker actually. Get some more black paint in there. Yeah, I used to eat a ton of hummus. And I didn't give it up. I was eating too much of it, I think. It was like the thing that I said, oh, this is healthy. I can eat this as much as I want. And it's just not true. It's just not true. I can't eat as much as I want. So I had to shut myself off, I guess. All right, let's do this bottom section here. Let me switch again. Go back to the small brush. I desperately want to eat as much as I want. And I'm trying to be good and exercise a little bit. And every year I feel like it gets harder and harder. But I can't worry about it too much. Gotta live life, gotta enjoy life really, you know. And food is definitely a big enjoyment. Yeah, there's certain things that I can eat a lot of and never get sick of, you know. But yeah, I've got to switch it up every now and then, and hummus was one of those things I had to switch up. I was eating too much of it. I'd buy the containers at the store and I'd make my own, and because of course with hummus you can't just eat hummus straight, right? You've got to have something to go with it, right? So all the crackers and chips and stuff that you dip into the hummus. it was never it was never carrots. I was never dipping carrots into my hummus. That was the problem. I'll soften this line later. A little more oil. Yeah, salad is, I could live off of pasta. Yeah, I eat pasta all the time too. Salad is a dangerous thing too, right? Because you say, well, I'm eating lettuce, I'm eating vegetables, it's all good, right? But it's all that other stuff that I put in my salads, you know. I regularly put some kind of meat in there, chicken or sometimes fish or shrimp or whatever, you know. Some of that can be healthy, but of course the dressing has got to be, it's got to be something creamy and yummy. And see, you're making me hungry now. Stop it. All right, let me get the bigger brush now. Bigger brush, more paint. See, gotta switch that cameraman. Who wants to be my cameraman? I need someone to switch my cameras for me, because I forget all the time. Now, interestingly enough, there's some different colors in there that I'm tempted to get a little bit going on in there, but I don't know. You're gonna stop? You're gonna get going? That's fine. You gotta go if you gotta go. I understand. I'm diabetic, so I have to watch the carb. Yeah. Wait, in total I did 230 cookies today? Okay. Oh my goodness, 230 cookies. That's a lot of chocolate chip cookies. That is really something. All right, I think I can get away with I'm not gonna clean that. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. You guys are funny. I think I want a little white on there too. Yeah. Kind of more of a creamy color. And that's kind of, I don't know what this is going to do because the paint's still really, really wet, but put some of that down here. And then I'll put a little bit down here. just to get it started. A little bit more. And then I'm going to brush all that all over. So this goes kind of like up. This a little bit over here. Just to start that, some of the details in there. And then down here, this is just kind of like blended out a little bit. There we go. Just a little bit. I'll leave that. I don't want to touch it. All right. I guess I'll see once I start putting in that color, that other color in there, that white line. There's all kinds of other white lines and stuff that I want to get going. All right, I'm gonna pause there. I've been going for a while. It's lunchtime. I am going to try to come back later though, because I'm on vacation, which means I can paint as much as I want. But I'm getting hungry. You guys officially made me hungry, so thank you. Let's see what you got here. Chocolate chip cookies. My favorite is white chocolate macadamia nut. Nice. Today was my Christmas show. We sung the wrong lyrics. What do you mean you sung the wrong? Did you mess up, or you did it on purpose? I don't know. Let's see. Today I had to go and get not renew my license in the United States. There's a new thing called Real ID, and so all the states are doing this, and so Real ID just means that you verified who you are, which is crazy to me. Like, isn't the license a verification of who you are in the first place? So I had to like bring my birth certificate in and show, bring some mail in to say, here's my name, this is where my address and all that. And so they're going to send me a new driver's license. So that's what I did this morning. Thank you. I will enjoy lunch. And not on purpose. You're funny. So you messed up the lyrics. That's okay. Don't worry about it. As long as you had fun, that's what you need to do. All right, I'm going to go have lunch. I hope to see you guys later. If you're around, you'll see me sometime after lunch, maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock. I don't know, somewhere around there. Maybe I'll take a nap. I'm on vacation. Nice. Anyways, have a great day, great afternoon, great evening, if that's what time it is where you are in Romania. And I will see you later on. Have a great day. Bye.